Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the SADGA podcast as we look ahead to the Canon Kwazulu-Natal Disabled Open. We've got another phenomenal show lined up for you tonight with three fantastic guests. The star of the show is none other than our fantastic ambassador, Emil Maehler, joined by his dad, Bryan, and his coach, Martin. How are you guys doing this evening?
Yeah, good, and you?
Good, thanks, man. And Emil and Bryan?
Yes, we're all well, thank you. All good.
So, Emil, I think a good starting point would be if we chatted about how you got into golf.
I think we can answer that best by answering how long he's been playing golf.
Okay.
I think that would be. I think that the first question that we were preempting for you to ask was about his playing history with golf.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So, if you'd like to know how long he's been playing golf, he has an answer for you.
Go for it.
Playing golf for 16 years. I began practicing golf in November 2005 and started playing in 2006.
Yeah, so that's quite a long time.
Oh.
Martin, I mean, Bryan. So how old would Emil have been when he started?
Well, he's now 37. He's been he must have been in his 20s, early 20s. He must have been 21 at the time when he first started.
Cool. Bryan, and then as we mentioned just before we went live, would you mind just sort of providing a bit of insight into his condition and just any information that you'd like to share with us? It would be nice to for me to learn a bit more about what his condition is.
Sure. So Emil was born with a condition known as cerebral palsy, and that was detected when he was very young, I think at the age of 3 months old. So the condition in his case has affected his mobility, especially in the left-hand side, much less in his right-hand side, but his left-hand side, and also affected his ability to verbalize. So he can vocalize, but he can't verbalize. So with the result that he communicates through gestures and through his facial expressions. We know when he's happy. He's mostly always happy, and known for his great smile. And then he has equipment to help him. He has a product on his iPad, which speaks for him. So he can pre-program sentences and verses, and he puts them into that machine, and he communicates through that medium.
Cool. That's absolutely remarkable. Martin, I guess a good starting point chatting to you would be what do you feel sort of impresses you most about Emil? Not necessarily as a golfer, but well, it can be as a golfer, but also as a person. Is there anything in particular that stands out?
I saw him today, and we were busy discussing, am I going to be good to you or naughty to you? Obviously spending a lot of time with him at the driving range and on the golf course. Is definitely a determined young man, and especially when he if we're going to be working towards something, if he doesn't get it straight away, he gets very upset. I must be honest. But yeah, determined, very committed, and I've never met a man that consistently smiles. So everyone knows him at the driving range like Mr. Smiley. So it's great.
And how much did you have to kind of adapt your coaching style? Because obviously he plays with, well, not obviously, but he plays with one arm. I mean, how has that sort of tested you as a coach?
So when I first started with him, and we kind of figured it out, if I'm not mistaken, Bryan, maybe you can help me out, but I think we started in 2014. So I think that's 7 years ago, somewhere around about there. Yeah. And when he first started with me, he actually came to me playing with two hands. And, he definitely wasn't weak. So I thought, well, because obviously he can only use his right-hand side and not the left-hand side, that if he just used his right hand, we could get more of a swing out of him as opposed to then using two hands on it. So that was our first obstacle that we got around. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he might have putted only with his one hand, his right hand, but he swung with two hands. So then we went both with one hand. So that was the first obstacle. But from that, not much. We kind of teach the guys the same, basically. And there's nothing really that has changed sort of in the coaching. That I teach him the same as I teach every other of my students. I'm as hard on him as I'm hard on other guys. So yeah, it has been really interesting. Yeah, it's been good.
And which aspects of the game do you tend to emphasize? Is it a lot of like chipping and putting drills and stuff like that, or do you focus more on the swing generally?
So I see Emil once a week, and yeah, it just depends. He obviously does play in between the times that I do see him. So I get a bit of feedback from him and saying, okay, well, what do you need to work on? Where did you battle, etc. So yeah, today we were in the bunker, and I taught him a few new shots there. Choosing the right club in a certain condition. But yeah, I think, going back to one of the biggest obstacles of his game was hitting his driver. He couldn't hit a driver at all. His driver went 90 degrees right. And until we sourced the club, a company by the name of Henry Griffiths, and we came up with a driver that is made out of 18 degrees of loft. And because that amount of loft actually helped him produce a much better driver shot. And now he hits his driver great. So, that we worked on that for quite some time. I'll never forget, and I always refer back to him because, like I said, he gets a little bit upset if he doesn't perform the shot straight away. He sometimes thinks that he's like Tiger Woods. But I've got this little putter that is, it almost breaks in half. So if you don't produce the perfect putting stroke, it gives you that indication straight away that you're using your wrists. I think it took him probably 2 months to master that, and now it's simple for him. It's not even an obstacle, if I wanted to put it. Going back, every lesson is a different lesson. So it could be putting, chipping, pitching, bunkers, driver, just depending on what he really wants to work with.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I have to say that his driving is quite phenomenal at the moment. He's hitting the ball off the tee every hole perfectly straight. It's amazing, actually.
Yeah.
And I have a regular 4-ball. I just want to say that we play on a Saturday. I have 3 other suspects that I play with, and they are absolutely amazed at how Emil comes off the tee. It's quite incredible.
I think
And
you guys
it's-
are the Henry Griffiths driver.
Yeah, I think
But it is. I mean, I've also got a sort of mild form of CP, and it is quite a challenge to figure out how to take the weaker side out of it as much as possible. I mean, I've actually got to the point now where I've started playing one-handed bunker shots, but I'm pretty sure I can safely say that Emil is probably better throughout the bag than I am. So we won't dwell on that too much, just for my confidence. But
I must
Emil,
say,
go for it.
my one-handed shots have gotten very good over the couple of years. So, yeah, helped my game as well.
Emil, and I must point out at this point that our esteemed executive director, Mr. Craig Morgas, is starting to quake in his boots a little bit, remarking that you're starting to worry him. So you never know. Maybe you guys are going to be battling it out in the for the top Stableford performer in a couple of weeks' time. And you've also got home course advantage. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll be interesting to see. I mean, obviously, Craig has been doing quite a lot of damage at King David Mowbray, but it remains to be seen how well his game travels. But you never know. We'll see. He did speak a couple of weeks ago about how he likes to get inside his playing partners' heads, but obviously that's behavior unbecoming of an executive director. So he's got to try and keep himself in check during the tournament. But Emil, sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent there. But Emil, you've been a SADGA ambassador for a number of years now. What has been your favorite part about being an ambassador so far?
It is a source of joy for me and the challenge to always improve my game.
That's what it's about, hey? And I mean, I know while I was preparing for this interview, Lily was waxing lyrical about the phenomenal job you do as our ambassador, and just the passion with which you take your responsibilities, the ribbon cutting ceremonies that you've attended, and yeah, just everything that you do for SADGA has been done with such passion and joy. And I mean, you've brought so much joy. I mean, I'm trying to remember who we were chatting to a couple of weeks ago, Rupert Fortman and yeah, I'm so sorry for whoever's name I'm forgetting, but I know they were quite and Ian Gillink, and I know they were quite they were waxing lyrical about what an inspiration you are. So yeah, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. But golf is a big part of your life, but so is painting. So tell me about how long you've been painting and what medium you like to use.
Painting is a source of joy to me. It allows me to be creative and at the same time gives me time to relax and reflect. The painting medium I use is watercolor. I started painting in 2005, having been taught by Vilma Buzzard for 15 years. She is a renowned watercolor specialist. So to answer your question, I have also been painting for 16 years.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, it's I think people can again, I mean, as inspiring as it is to for people to watch you play golf, I mean, I think people can also take a lot from the fantastic art that you do, and I encourage everyone to go and check out Emil's Instagram page. I think I stand corrected, but I think the handle is Emil Maehler Art. Guys, it's absolutely phenomenal. So please go and check it out. Give the man a follow, and double tap those photos because they truly are amazing. But Bryan, just a question for you. You know, obviously it has been quite a journey for you and Marsha's parents. What about Emil, and whether it be his personality or his achievements, are you most proud of?
That's like a multifaceted question and answer. I mean, there are so many things I could say about him, but I think one of the things that stands out the most is his perseverance at tackling any challenge that he has. And there are many, considering that his condition, that he challenges them with such fervency and joy. And I think that nothing really gets him down. He has this amazing ability to interact with people, notwithstanding the fact that he can't verbalize, and people understand him. And I think he's a great inspiration to a lot of people that we come into contact with. I mean, living here in Mount Edgecombe, it can be quite embarrassing actually, because whenever Marshall and I go out somewhere, he's constantly talking to people that we don't know. So he has a huge following, and it's been a wonderful journey, really. He's an inspiration to all of us, and we're very, very privileged to have him in our lives, I have to say.
Yeah, I think, no, I mean, again, I think the lessons that people with not necessarily disabilities, but just
Special conditions, maybe. We've lost the connection.
that they can teach others is truly amazing. And yeah, I mean, what you said now was, yeah, I mean, absolutely phenomenal. I think probably isn't, it doesn't even scratch the surface of you know, the impact that Emil has had on your lives.
Absolutely. And you know, often I think we speak about people with disabilities, often when you consider the challenges they face and how they meet them, as being an able-bodied person, so to speak, I often think to myself, I'm more disabled than he is in many aspects, especially with my golf. So I've got a lot of work to do there.
And Emil, how special is it for you to have the Canon KZN Disabled Open played at Mount Edgecombe? And what are you most looking forward to about the event?
Yes, it is very special to have the tournament here at my home ground, as it is the place I play most of golf. I am also familiar with the course, which it may hopefully give me a chance for a better result. I am most excited that the tournament has been reinstated after having been postponed for over a year due to COVID-19.
Yeah, I think that that probably sums it up pretty well. I think everyone's just chomping at the bit to get out there. And as you say, I mean, obviously last year's tournament was cancelled due to COVID, which is bitterly disappointing. But Martin, I mean, how much time do you guys spend doing like on course practice, and how are you gonna try and prepare Emil for the tournament in a couple of weeks' time?
Yeah, just actually, I spoke to him today about it, and I said, well, you definitely need to try and get out here as much as you can. In terms of trying to get him onto the golf course, both of us with very busy calendars, it's going to be a bit of a tricky one. But yeah, he's definitely is prepared. He just needs to put it all together. He tends to get a little bit nervous coming into tournaments, but he's done it many times. There's no reason for him to get nervous. I think that's just definitely his personality. I think he just wants to be the best he possibly can.
No, and I'm sure he's going to do very, very well. But
definitely,
Emil, I mean, you're a very, very popular character within SADGA, as I alluded to earlier. But who are some of your best friends within the association?
Each one is special to me, so it is difficult for me to single any one particular person out. I treat everyone with the same respect.
You've raised him well, Bryan. There's a very, very diplomatic answer. Just not naming anyone, just sort of hedging his bets, keeping it safe, keeping it very general. That was good. It's good, and the respect part also was a nice touch as well. But just finally, sorry, let me just check this out here. Obviously, I think SADGA means a lot to its members for varying reasons. But Emil, what is the best part about being part of SADGA, in your opinion?
What do I most love about being part of SADGA? It is being part of a special group of people who all have a common bond, and that is the love of the game, the love of golf.
Could not have said it better myself. Literally could not. That was phenomenal, and yeah, I think that's definitely one of the most special aspects of the association, and what makes it such a unique environment. But guys, thank you so much for your time, and all the very best for the tournament. I know I'm sure what are we 2 weeks away. I'm sure Craig Morgas is going to have a few sleepless nights in the lead up to the event. And Emil, I wish you nothing but the best for the tournament, and also, yeah, just relax, enjoy it, and I'm sure the preparation that you've put in with Martin will pay dividends. And Martin, I also want to thank you for taking the time to join us, and Bryan as well. It's been absolutely fantastic. So thank you very, very much for joining me.
Thanks for inviting me.
And Craig, I just want to say, I think a special thanks must go to Martin for all the time that he spent with Emil. It's made a massive difference to his life as far as golf is concerned, and the friendship and bond they formed. And also a special thanks to Lily, who's always been a huge advocate of including Emil, and in all the years that he's been playing for SADGA, I think it must be 12 odd years now. I remember the first tournament we ever had was in Graceland, up in, I don't know where it was, some God-forsaken place in the middle of nowhere, where we froze to death playing. And also to Sandila, who's also supported him a great deal. But a special thanks on behalf of Emil, to those people. And it's
Fantastic.
been wonderful to be part of this, and thanks for inviting us.
No, it's been my pleasure, and we most definitely once Emil wins the event in a couple of weeks, we're definitely going to do a follow-up podcast and just
Great.
sort of reflect. Sounds good. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you to everyone for tuning in. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I mean, they say that there are two things in life that are free. The one being oxygen, and the other being a YouTube subscription. Cheapest if I could get the word out. Subscription. So please hit that subscribe button and be sure to check out our future videos. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.